This is Chris Report, and he assured me that since Simon's down in Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania. The Republican National Convention is underway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio who dissed on poor white people in his book Hillbilly Elegy and rose to fame based on that and the backs of others and whining about his family experience, has been the president's selection for vice president. So J.D. Vance will be speaking at 9 p.m. tonight. Trump is now expected to make an appearance. Let's wait and see if that happens. We're waiting for Vance to show up on stage. J.D. Vance, of course, is a 39-year-old former tech analyst, investment guy who served briefly in the Marine Corps as a combat journalist. And then went to Ohio State, where I graduated in 2 years. They never mentioned the fact he went to school at night before that, so it's not like it's a miraculous thing. I did the same thing. I graduated university in 2 years too. Whoop-de-frickin-do. And then he went to Yale Law School before white people were excluded from Yale. The 39-year-old could never get into Yale now because he's a white male. But J.D. Vance, and now the vice presidential selection of Donald John Trump. And so we're waiting for him to come on stage. I would play, actually what I should do is go ahead and get this thing up in case it gets started here, but I'll have to keep the sound off because, I'll do it this way. Okay, so I'll turn it down so I can hear it, but I have to keep it off so that you don't hear it, so I'll get a copyright claim because they're playing, music that someone will claim is their music. So let's go ahead and get them up on the screen here, folks, and we'll go from there. So this is the Republican National Convention live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. As I said, we're waiting for J.D. Vance to come out, the senator from Ohio, the vice presidential pick of Donald John Trump, one I do not agree with. So there I am on the screen. Let's get myself over here. And we're live on air. Okay, there we go. So the crowd is assembled. You can see the markers for delegations. I see Oregon, Iowa, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Ohio. Pennsylvania is right there. Wisconsin, Nebraska. And what is that one? I can't read that one over there. So homing in on it. North Carolina, hard to read it because there's so many letters, North Carolina. So the band is playing, waiting for them to finish. And then we'll get started here, waiting for J.D. Vance to come out on stage. As I said, Kristi Noem is coming out now, so J.D. Vance must be coming out later. I'm not sure what's going on there. But Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, who is supposed to be a vice presidential pick, but is no longer the case. Let's hear what she's got to say.
Thank you. Good evening. You all look fantastic. I love the cowboy hats. And a shout out to South Dakota. Hi. Woo. Listen, I'm Governor Kristi Noem from the great state of South Dakota.
It's more like a fashion model.
Leadership has consequences. It matters who's in the White House. Now, I've been governor under both President Trump and Joe Biden. And people ask me all the time, what's the biggest difference? And I tell them that President Trump honored the Constitution. He let me do my job. And he let me keep my people free. Now, leadership on the state level, it matters too. It certainly mattered in South Dakota. I am so proud to say that South Dakota's strong economy has been a beacon of freedom for America. Most of you probably first heard about me during COVID, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Because South Dakota was the only state in the country that stayed open for business.
Yep. Of course, 10 people live there, so.
We didn't mandate anything. We never ordered a single business or a church to close. I never even defined what an essential business was because I don't believe that
all
the
business
government
are
has
essential.
the authority to tell you that your business isn't essential.
Agreed. Well stated.
When other states were pushing mandates and lockdowns, instead in South Dakota, we hit the gas. We embraced liberty. We told our story and we invited people to come and to enjoy our beautiful state. Now, all of the things that conservatives have always talked about, we just did it, and it worked. Our economy took off, and since I've been governor, we broke the national record for the lowest unemployment rate in American history.
It's got to be below
at
1%.
1.8%.
There you go. Below 2%. Iowa was at that level,
In
1.9.
South Dakota, everybody works. We paid off state debts and bonds. We fixed dams and bridges. We built roads. We have a fully funded pension plan and a AAA credit rating. We broke records for surpluses, and we balance our budget every single year.
Yep. Washington could learn something from South Dakota.
And last year in South Dakota, we passed the largest tax cut in South Dakota history. Under my administration, incomes in our state have gone up 36%. Women-owned businesses are thriving. We also have the highest birth rate in the nation. People are having babies because they're happy.
You mean because they're bored? You've been to South Dakota? I have.
And in South Dakota, we love babies. Our mental health challenges have gone down, our suicide rates are declining, and we are the #1 state in the country for a decline in overdoses because people have hope. We're growing so fast that we needed more workers to catch up. So we launched the most successful workforce recruitment campaign in the history of South Dakota. And they have come by the thousands to join us and to live with us. Do you guys remember those ads when I was a really lousy plumber and a really terrible electrician? Do you remember those? Well,
No.
Since we started those ads, we have seen a 78% increase in licensed plumbers in the state of South Dakota.
Good. Now your toilets can flush properly.
We've seen a 44% increase in electricians in our state. Now, people aren't moving to South Dakota for our beaches or for our beautiful January weather.
That's
They
true.
are moving to our state for opportunity and for freedom.
Freedom.
And all of this happened because our people were bold. We took action, and I was strong. Now, South Dakota proved that freedom will make America wealthy again. And with President Trump in the White House, with Senator J.D. Vance by his side, we will prove it across America.
Here was your vice president pick right here.
Listen, 2 days ago, the whole world changed. Evil displayed itself in the very worst way, through a cowardly act. An innocent American lost his life, and we will continue to lift his family up in our prayers every single day. Prior to this week, we already knew that President Donald Trump was a fighter. He is the toughest man that I have ever met. Nobody has endured more than what he has gone through. They've attacked his reputation, they impeached him, they tried to bankrupt him, and they unjustly prosecuted him. But even in the most perilous moment this week, his instinct was to stand and to fight.
Yep. That's the image.
Donald J. Trump is our man in the arena. He will never stop fighting for us. He will never stop, and now he is bringing all of us together. Now, I know that many of you are angry, but now is the time to unite. And we have to get to work. We have to win the hearts and minds of every single American. Wake them up with truth and with wisdom. We need to listen to them. You can't win people over by arguing with them. Visit with
Tell
your
that to the
neighbors,
leftists.
at your job, at your church, at the gas station, or even at the grocery store. Listen, there are moments in our history, often after great hardship and tragedy, when true leaders unite our country. At one time, President Lincoln, he united our country. He delivered my favorite presidential address of all time. In fact, it's the only speech or poem or song that I ever made my kids memorize when they were young, when they were little. It was the Gettysburg Address, and it was delivered during our nation's bloodiest conflict. That speech so inspired people that they continued to fight for years, and they lost loved ones in order to preserve this union we call the United States of America.
I wish they'd turn off the mics. Always people chattering down there, very rude and disrespectful.
Now, at that time, President Lincoln encouraged us to take increased devotion, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. Like Lincoln, in the midst of our pain and division, Donald Trump is calling us to be touched by the better angels of our nature. As Paul wrote in 2 Timothy, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. We must not be afraid. Even in our darkest days, we have never once given up hope. So don't quit on America. If we lose this country, where else will we go that provides more freedom and opportunity for our kids and our grandkids?
There's nowhere else.
And I've got 3 grandkids, and I'm counting on a whole lot more. And yes, democracy can be messy, but there is a great invisible strength to a people's union. We have shown the world that we can endure sacrifice and that we can still unite. We should still aspire to be worthy of this union, America. President Donald J. Trump is the leader we need for such a time as this. So now, I need you to get to work. Get out there, go do it. Don't quit. Keep fighting, keep uniting, keep talking to people, win the hearts and minds, and may God bless you, and may God continue to bless the great United States of America. Thank you.
Kristi Noem, the governor of South Carolina. We have an update here. It looks like J.D. Vance is currently on Sean Hannity's program, and I'm getting a report here that's come across saying that Trump's motorcade is headed to the convention. So I think they're probably going to delay Vance until Trump gets there. So crowd is cheering USA now.
I think these maybe were Democrats, but for me, they're a Republican.
Nah, they're just running things through now. Well, that's going to give us a headache watching that screen fluctuate back and forth. Don't know what's going on there. Let me go ahead and turn that off so we don't. There we go. That's a little. That finally stabilized. But that was South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. As I said, J.D. Vance is currently on Sean Hannity's program at the moment. So I'm not sure when we'll get him. He was scheduled for 9 p.m. It's now 9:13. And I have a feeling we're going to be sitting here for a little bit. I don't know who's messing around with this camera, but it's making me nauseate over here watching it. So I'll jump off of that. But we are waiting for J.D. Vance to come and make an appearance and speak. He is the selection to be the vice presidential candidate under Donald John Trump. Again, not a choice I'm enamored with. I understand why he picked him, but I don't agree with it. But that's my opinion. I'm not in that position, and quite frankly, the older I get, the less impressed I am with politicians. So anyway, that may be playing part of why. All right, so someone's coming out now. I can't see who this is. Let's see who this is. Bobby Bartels. Not anymore.
We have come to expect empty promises from Democratic politicians.
He's a lifelong Democrat, and he's at the Republican National Convention. He's a steam fitter.
In 1986, after a decade of Democratic politicians' mismanagement, Central Park's iconic Woolman Ice Rink had fallen into an unusable state of disrepair. Politicians made promise after promise to fix the rink, and yet they did nothing. That's when Donald Trump stepped up.
Yep.
He wasn't mayor. He wasn't running for anything, but
Nope,
he was a guy who cared
Just a property developer.
about people, and he knew how to get a job done. He put his money and his reputation on the line and committed to getting it built. He did it using skilled local union labor like the men of Local 638. Together, we worked tirelessly on that project, completing it on time
On budget.
and ensuring kids would be skating that fall on that rink. And a quick note to President Biden. That involved working outside the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Ah, that's funny. That's a good one. Good one, buddy. Good one.
Early one hot summer morning on that job, I saw Donald Trump visiting the site. I yelled out, "Are you here to buy us coffee?" President walked right over. He wasn't the president at the time, but he walked right over, grinning, and handed me some cash and told us it was too hot for coffee. Go buy sandwiches and drinks for everyone. Now, more than ever, we need a president who knows how to get things done. We have an open border inviting illegal immigrants to take our American jobs and lower our wages.
Yep.
Out of control inflation is squeezing budgets, and both violent crime and drug epidemic are pushing people out of our cities, all while Democrats do nothing.
No, they do something. They let our country be invaded.
That's why this union Democrat will be voting Trump along So that's why this union Democrat, along with many of my local union members, will be voting Trump this November. So that we can take back the middle class, take back the country, and rebuild the middle class that my union has helped build over so many years. God bless America. Thank you.
There you go.
Please welcome Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida.
Yeah, Byron Donalds of Florida coming in now, folks. Some prime time there for the union guy. Walking in like an OG. Look at Byron Donalds, man. What's up? Look at him. Like Chris Rock. What's up, my peeps? Look at him. Look at him. Byron Donalds looking like Chris Rock. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. He was also considered for vice president.
Good evening, Milwaukee. You know, Milwaukee, we're on live television. You gotta let me get to the speech now. Thank you. I'm Byron Donalds, and I come from the great state of Florida.
Florida delegation loud.
And I proudly represent the people of Southwest Florida. But I was raised by a single mother in Brooklyn, New York. Life was hard, and we struggled. When I was in the first grade, my mother took me out of public school because she could see that public education was failing me. I needed to be challenged, and I needed the opportunity that only a private school could provide. My mother is an educator, and she truly believed in my potential. But Democrat politicians wanted to trap me in a failing school, but my mom fought for me. Mom, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, Mom. Words cannot describe how deeply grateful I am to be your son. When I was in the 7th grade, my mom lost her job. We went on government assistance, and my grandma helped us pay for private school. My mom and my grandma sacrificed to ensure that I could build a successful future through a commitment to academic achievement and hard work. I'm standing here today as a result of their love, good and safe schools, and great teachers. And to the teachers of America who pour your heart and your soul into your students and teach the next generation to love, honor, and serve our great country, we all say thank you.
Yes, Dave, I know he's on hand. I've already announced that.
But what about those kids whose parents can't scrape money together for private school? Don't those kids who grew up like I grew up deserve the same chance that I had?
I didn't have that chance.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris sent their kids to high-priced private schools.
I went to public
But
schools.
since they are in the pocket of the far-left teachers' unions, they trap poor kids like me
And me.
in failing schools with no way out.
Yep.
They say they're pro-choice, but
Sure.
not if you want a choice over what your kids are taught. Donald Trump believes every parent deserves a choice, and every child deserves a chance.
No worries, Dave. I'm just saying I've already announced that. He was scheduled for 9 o'clock. He's probably going to be on at 10 because we're waiting for Trump to get to
And in
the...
November, when Donald Trump is elected, our nation's 47th president, we will make sure all America's children get that chance.
Well, let's see if they follow through.
Growing up poor, I know the pain of high food prices, high energy prices, and housing costs. I remember as a kid, my mom yelling at me, "Turn off that light, you don't pay the bill."
Yeah, I heard that one.
We know there's a bunch of kids in America today who are hearing that from their parents. The massive inflation created by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has only made it worse. During my first term in Congress, I served on the Budget Committee and the Small Business Committee. We told Joe Biden that his so-called American Rescue Plan was going to cause inflation. The Biden-Harris administration told us not to worry, but I knew better. I have nearly 2 decades of experience as a financial professional, and the evidence is in. Go to any grocery store, buy eggs, buy beef, buy milk. Even housing prices have skyrocketed.
Yep.
All Americans deserve a shot at the American dream. But under Joe Biden's debilitating economic policies, far many Americans, far too many of them, that dream has slipped away.
It's a nightmare.
This shows that we were right, that Joe Biden was wrong,
So
and
what?
that you, the American people, are paying the price.
Yeah, we said so too.
As Americans, we've all been struggling. The disastrous results of the Biden-Harris agenda transcend race, religion, or income.
Yep.
But under President Trump, all of this will change.
Probably it did last time. Things were much better.
And if there was ever a time in our nation to come together, that time is now. With Trump, our economy will boom again. You will have more money in your pocket again.
We did last time.
And your children will have a future again. Together, I know we will make America wealthy again. And together, America, we will make America great again. God bless you, Milwaukee.
Byron Donalds,
Bless the United States of America.
Junior Congressman from the great state of Florida. Turn that down. Byron Donalds going off there. He was in consideration to be a potential vice presidential pick, looking like Chris Rock walking up on stage, telling his story. So let's see if we've got a break in the action here. As Dave pointed out, they're singing Huey Lewis in the news, so I have to put that on mute. But as Dave Reinke said, J.D. Vance being interviewed by Sean Hannity. Yep. Dave, I haven't heard from Ronaldo in the last day or so I'm not sure what's going on with him. His attorneys are not providing daily updates on the money raised. I don't know if that's because they're disappointed or they're just busy or what's going on, but we're not getting those daily updates, which we thought we were going to get. Hendo just got home. Where have you been, Hendo? You been out partying or are you working nights? It's after midnight, man. What's going on? So thank you to the 12 people currently here this evening. This is live coverage of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, the convention is being, you're seeing a lot of cowboy hats out there from all over the country, not just one area. People wearing their cowboy hats tonight. So in the spirit of that, let's just join them, at least for a moment there. With a cowboy hat. There you go. Yeah, Dave, I will plan on doing it this week, but it's going to be tough to cover the whole thing, but I'll see what I can do. The band is pretty good. Here they go. Here's a little bit of the band for a few seconds. There you go. So the band's not bad at all. Yeah, so they got a big band up there playing some great music. And I don't know what the schedule is here now. This is not, I don't believe it was originally scheduled. Let me go back to the convention schedule. I have it here. J.D. Vance has been picked as Trump's vice presidential running mate. So Monday, well, it's Tuesday, go to Monday, 2, 3, 6 p.m. Monday, 8 p.m. official session. It doesn't list who's supposed to speak. I guess they change it as it goes. It just says official session, doesn't say who is actually speaking here. So that's interesting. There's a reception for Louisiana delegation 11 p.m. tonight. Yeah, but that's a closed session only for the Louisiana delegation. Anyway, a lot of closed sessions today. The Calderon Club hosted a Italian-American commitment to public service by the National Italian-American Foundation. That was closed to the public, not available. So I'll have to go to the Republican National Convention website and see if there's an update because their schedule doesn't list who's supposed to be speaking tonight. There are a lot of trolls on the live streams. Well, not on this one. There's almost nobody here, so... Yeah, there's almost nobody here. So let me just go and see if I can find Republican National Convention schedule update. Right. Let's see. I saw the master calendar. Let's try that again. Okay. Venues, events. It's still the same master calendar, so let me see whose schedule. Okay. See, there's artists on this listed here. Lineup speakers first night. There we go. The New York Slimes will help me out with that. Thank you, New York Times. Right. List of speakers for the first night. Finalized according to the person who briefed it. So, primetime schedule in order. They're scheduled to speak. Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. We saw him. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I did not see her. Mark Robinson, North Carolina. Wesley Hunt of Texas. John James of Michigan. Katie Britt of Alabama. Tim Scott of South Carolina. Glenn Youngkin, Virginia, did catch him. Kristi Noem, Byron Dales. Next is Charlie Kirk, that little weasel from Turning Point USA. Senator Marsha Blackburn and Sean O'Brien, President of International Brotherhood of Teamsters. So we did see the gentleman who was on there, who was a union pipe fitter, Now, he wasn't listed on here, but these were the big names, so I'm not really sure. Let me see. 41 seconds ago, this is updated. Maybe that's going to be more accurate. Let's take a look and see. All right, so several black politicians spoke in the first line of the Republican National Convention hours after the party formally nominated Donald Trump, newly announced running mate. Okay, so is he nominated, I guess? Republicans pitched themselves as a party of economic opportunity and sought to court black voters on the first day of their convention, which is still going on. After formally making former President Trump their nominee alongside newly named running mate J.D. Vance, the selection of Vance, a one-time Trump critic, whose abrupt turnaround fueled his rise in the Senate just last year, came 2 days after Mr. Trump survived an attempt on his life. Convention opened with delegates taking a moment of silence dedicated to reflecting on the attempted assassination. And in keeping with recent calls to dial back hostile rhetoric, Monday's speaker struck more subdued tones. Tim Scott, former rival Mr. Trump's for the primary and one of several black lawmakers, spoke, revved up the crowd. He said on Saturday the devil came to Pennsylvania holding a rifle, but an American lion got back up on his feet and he roared. Oh yeah, he roared. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, North Carolina Republican nominee for governor, avoided the vitriol he more commonly delivers and spoke about his impoverished upbringing. Yep. So I'm trying to get this now. Okay, they finished playing. Let's see if we get
Sachs.
David Sachs. I don't know who David Sachs is, but he's coming out now. See what he's got to say.
Good evening, America. Good evening, America. I'm David Sachs, a legal immigrant who worked hard to achieve the American dream. Now, thank you. Now I'm concerned those same opportunities won't be there for future generations. As I look out at this convention, I see a party that is strong and unified behind President Donald J. Trump and his pick for Vice President, Senator J.D. Vance.
Not a good choice. Sorry.
And what about the Democrats? They're in disarray after shielding President Biden from a vigorous primary and gaslighting the entire country about his fitness to serve. We still don't know which puppet Democrat Party bosses will install as their nominee, but we know what their agenda will be. 4 more years of chaos and failure, both at home and abroad.
Yep, that's true.
In my hometown of San Francisco, Democrat rule has turned the streets of our beautiful city into a cesspool of crime,
prostitution,
homeless encampments, and
homelessness,
open drug use.
Yep.
Democrats, led by border czar Kamala Harris, have allowed millions of illegal migrants to invade our country. They tasked Homeland Security not with stopping the illegal aliens, but with busing them all over.
Flying them into Pennsylvania, New York, Florida.
Democrats have recklessly spent trillions of dollars of wasteful and unnecessary government programs, setting off the worst inflation since Jimmy Carter. But worst of all, the Biden-Harris administration has taken a world that was at peace under President Trump,
put it in flames,
and they lit it on fire.
Yep.
First, President Biden botched the Afghanistan withdrawal, displaying incompetence and weakness for the whole world to see.
Yep, that's why
Then
Putin invaded
he
Ukraine.
provoked the Russians to invade Ukraine with talk of NATO expansion.
Yep.
Afterward, he rejected every opportunity for peace in Ukraine, including a deal to end the war just 2 months after it broke out. Now the war is deep into its 3rd year with no end in sight.
As I predicted.
Hundreds of thousands of people are dead.
As I predicted.
Hundreds of billions of our taxpayer dollars have gone up in smoke.
Yep.
President Biden sold us this new forever war by promising it would weaken Russia and strengthen America.
Lies.
Well, how does that look today?
Very badly.
Russia's military is bigger than before, while our own stockpiles are dangerously depleted. Every day, there are new calls for escalation, and the world looks on in horror as Joe Biden's demented policy takes us to the brink of World War III. In the Middle East, America is now losing a war with the Houthis, and the administration's policy towards Gaza has been so incoherent that the only thing that pro-Israel and pro-Palestine protesters agree on is the chant, F Joe Biden.
True.
Rather than bolstering confidence in American leadership, as he promised, President Biden has become the symbol of an America in decline. This may be our present, but it does not have to be our future. We can replace the Biden-Harris cabal with a president who is strong and smart rather than sleepy and senile. Or, in her case, clueless and embarrassing. A president who understands that you build the most powerful military in the world to keep America safe, not to play the world's policeman. A president who is willing to talk to adversaries as well as friends, because that is the only way to make peace. A president who will stand up to the warmongers instead of empowering them. My fellow Americans, we need a leader who commands respect and demands reciprocity from other nations. We need strength and savviness in the White House Situation Room, even if the crisis hits after Biden's bedtime. We need a president who can be president and lead, not a puppet controlled by his or her staff. We need order in our cities, order at our border, and order restored to a world on fire. My friends, we need President Donald J. Trump back in the White House. Thank you.
That's David Sachs, South African-born Jewish American from Cape Town, grew up in Tennessee, came at the age of 5 as a legal immigrant. Moms for America.
Wow, you all look wonderful, beautiful from here. Look at that crowd. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, America.
This is Vanessa Farra, Executive Director of Moms for America Action.
My name is Vanessa Farra. I was born in Peru, and my family migrated legally to the United States when I was 9 years old. Like millions of legal immigrants, my family didn't begin our pursuits of the American dream by breaking the law. We respected America, and we wanted to earn our citizenship. When we arrived in the Bronx, we lived on the 6th floor of a graffiti-painted building. Both my parents worked 2 jobs. At 18, I achieved one of my greatest aspirations. I became a United States citizen.
Still pretty excited about it.
I asked my father which party I should join. He said that we're Hispanics, we vote Democrat. But the more I learned, the more I saw that the Democratic Party didn't represent my values. Republicans did. I believe that the most important institution is the
Family.
family. That the U.S. Constitution is the greatest document in history, and that every human being, born and unborn, is made in the image of God.
Now they're listening.
Today, I'm proud to be part of an organization that protects the freedoms and opportunities of women across America. I've had the honor of meeting thousands of moms. Since Biden took office, I've heard one message from mothers from all backgrounds. The cost of living is making it harder to meet basic needs. Moms are reaching down the bottom shelf to just save 35 cents. Grandmothers who should be enjoying their golden years are working again to barely make ends meet.
This woman's not using a
Under
teleprompter.
the Biden-Harris agenda, we're no longer living, we're surviving.
Yep.
It feels more and more like I'm back in Latin America.
Latin America.
Under President Trump, Hispanics' unemployment reached record lows, and our income reached a record high.
Yep, that's true. It's gone the other direction since then. Same with black Americans.
To my fellow Hispanic Americans and to all Americans, if you believe in faith, family,
And the
freedom,
flag.
financial stability, join me in voting for Donald Trump this November. Thank you, America.
Wow, well stated. So she's heading off now. Oh, it's time for Charlie Kirk, little weasel boy himself. Here he comes. Let's hear what he's got to say. Shut up.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action.
It's an age discrimination organization's turning point.
Together, the largest conservative grassroots organizations in the country.
Untrue.
Thanks to our work, I talk to a lot of young people.
Yeah, only
On
young people.
campuses, at our events, on my radio show, podcast, and social media. Said differently, I visit college campuses so you don't have to.
Yeah, well, gee, thanks.
I hear a lot from young people about
We
their
don't give a
hopes,
crap. They don't
their
vote.
dreams,
Who
and
cares?
their fears.
They don't vote.
You see, young people are idealists.
And
They
non-voters.
respond to vision.
They don't respond to
For
jack
the
squat.
past 4 years, they've seen the vision of the Biden-Harris regime. That vision is you'll own nothing and be happy. The Democrats say instead of owning a home, you'll rent a 400-square-foot studio apartment. Instead of owning a car, you'll rent a scooter using some app. Their vision is this: limit your dreams, give up, aim lower, be content with less. If you're a 20-something in America, life has been really tough. You've watched home prices rise 47% since 2020, 47%. Home ownership is now out of reach unless you make over $106,000 a year. Since I last spoke at the Republican convention 4 years ago, I've become a husband and father.
Oh, good Lord, that's scary. He's
In
been
fact,
breeding.
We have 2 under 2. I think I get extra points for that.
No, you don't.
For millions of people my age, that is a dream that feels farther away than ever under the Biden-Harris administration. According to current projections, 1/3 of today's young Americans will never get married. The average American is having fewer children than ever before. Why? It's because for far too many, they simply can't afford them. The basic things our parents enjoyed are increasingly out of reach for Gen Z and millennials.
No, I don't like
See,
him, Dave. He's a
The
bigot.
American dream has become a luxury item for the wealthy elite. Happy countries
He's one of them.
have children. Broken countries have addiction, depression, and suffering. Democrats have given hundreds of billions of dollars to illegals and foreign nations, while Gen Z has to pinch pennies just so that they can never own a home, never marry, and work until they die, childless. Under Biden, our young people own nothing and they are miserable. Donald Trump refuses to accept this fake, pathetic, mutilated version of the American dream. When he was president, young people were richer than ever before, and he will do it again. Donald Trump is on a rescue mission to revive your birthright, one your grandparents and those before them gave everything to hand down to you. And listen carefully, everybody. This is why young men are the most conservative that they have been in 50 years.
That's not why. You know, I don't like him, Neil, at all. He's an arrogant asshat.
To all the Gen Zers watching this convention on TikTok right now, I have a message just for you. You don't have to stay poor. You don't have to accept being worse off than your parents. You don't have to feel aimless and unhappy. You don't have to support leaders who lied to you and took advantage of you for your vote. America's future is a series of choices. Our current state of slow motion national decline is a choice. This November, we're going to choose success. We're going to choose to put the future of Americans first. We are going to choose to no longer be spectators this election. We together are going to do the work to save America. We are going to choose to work harder than ever before, to chase ballots, to vote early, to register new voters, and all of us together working harder than ever, we will fire the Biden-Harris regime and put Donald Trump back in the White House where he belongs. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
No, I don't like him at all. He's a weasel, and he's elitist, and he's privileged, and he is an ageist. He and his little special Turning Point USA won't talk to you if you're over the age of 30. He's over the age of 30. So not my cup of tea. No. Courtney says illegal immigrants are the reason why housing stocks is trending. Yeah, you're right about that. A bigot? He's a bigot. Yeah, he has issue with people who are over the age of 40. He's an ass. He's always been an ass. He and another person that's full of themselves is, what's her name, Candace Owens. They travel in the same crowd. What do I think of Colorado Representative Steve Woodrow? I don't think I know Steve Woodrow. Let me take a look and see. Colorado State Representative. Let me look and see if maybe I know who he is. I just can't think of who he is. 44-year-old. Vice Chairman of the House Committee on State, Civic, Military, Veterans Affairs. He's a lawyer. Okay. He's got a doctorate from Chicago Kent College of Law. Okay. He's focused on affordable housing, education, and gun control. I already don't like him. I don't like him. He likes gun control? No. He posted on X, the last thing American needed was sympathy for the devil, but here we are. Oh, he's the guy that wrote that. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. That guy's a piece of shit. Does that answer your question? That's why on his. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Marsha Blackburn, now we're talking. Let's hope she's got her crap together. She's been stumbling a lot lately. Big fan of Marsha Blackburn here. This is a real legislator. Here we go.
Good evening, and what a great evening it is. I am Marsha Blackburn from the great state of Tennessee.
The great state of Tennessee.
And yes, last week I did have the honor of chairing the Republican Platform Committee. We produced a different kind of platform, one that is dedicated to the forgotten men and women of America. People like Brad Bordeaux, a small businessman from White Bluff, Tennessee, Brad leads Bordeaux medals. By the end of the Obama-Biden administration, high taxes, massive government spending, and over-regulation almost put him out of business. But things changed
when Trump became president.
We elected Donald Trump.
Yep.
Thanks to President Trump's tax and regulation cuts, Brad and those that worked for him prospered. He hired new workers, expanded the business. Life was good and getting better.
Until
But Bidenomics was a four-letter word for Bordeaux medals. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, their high inflation, high interest, high taxes, and Green New scam are destroying small businesses.
Yep.
Biden and Harris outsourced our energy supply, driving electricity prices up over 29%. The day Joe and Kamala walked into office, gas was $2.40 a gallon. Today, it is $3.54.
It's $1.89 in Pennsylvania. Now it's $3.79.
Our platform says we will make America energy
Wealthy.
dominant. You know? And let me hear you now. You know who will make that happen? Donald Trump. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris also think that small business owners are wealthy and they should pay their fair share. We all know that's the left-wing code for you gotta pay more taxes. Well, in Tennessee, I led the fight against a proposed state income tax. We killed that thing. We are income tax free.
That's years ago.
In Tennessee. So when Donald Trump was president, I helped him spread economic prosperity with the largest tax cut in American history. Now, President Trump will make those tax cuts permanent. But if Joe and Kamala are reelected,
they're gone.
They say they're going to let them expire. That will be the biggest tax increase in American history.
Yep.
Our party's platform commits to making the Trump tax cuts permanent. And you know,
Yes, I did, Neil.
you know who will return us to an era of prosperity? Donald Trump.
I'm not a fan of J.D. Vance. He's a turncoat and a Trump hater who's an opportunist.
Now, Joe and Kamala, bless their hearts, they couldn't help themselves. They hired 85,000 new IRS agents to harass hard-working Americans.
Yep.
IRS penalties have surged 300%. And they're not on big corporations. They're on gig workers, freelancers, small business owners, and the self-employed.
Yep. Tell me about it. Self-employed right here.
Let me ask you a question. Who is going to look at those 85,000 IRS agents and say, "You're fired"? Donald Trump.
I hope so.
Under Biden and Harris, people are also
No, he can't,
pushed
Dave.
by more regulations than at any time
President
since
can't
Jimmy
fire vice
Carter.
president.
Their regulations aren't just
Elected by the
burdensome.
people.
Often, they include racist DEI requirements. Many small businesses are going bankrupt. Some are throwing up their hands in disgust. Our party's platform pledges 7 times to cut regulations that are killing jobs and costing you thousands of dollars. Now, you know who will slash that red tape and return this country to economic greatness? Donald Trump.
It's not true, Courtney.
The harmful Biden-Harris policies are
That's
why
true. He could
so
resign.
many small business owners, like Shayna Gray.
But then Mike
She
Johnson
is a
becomes the vice
black
president.
Female owner of Great Jet Cafe right here in Milwaukee. She voted for Biden in 2020, and in 24, she is voting for President Donald Trump.
So she claims. As the convention appears in her town, she wants customers to the restaurant.
Our platform is a promise to people like Shayna, people like Brad, and President Trump will keep his promises just like he did the first time. So I've got one more question for you. Who should be the next president of the United States?
Chris Wyatt?
Donald Trump. God bless you, protect you, and God bless and protect the United States. Thank you.
Marsha Blackburn, the senior senator from Tennessee. We have a succession now of 4 private Americans coming in a row. You're wrong, Courtney. You're 100% wrong. History has proven you wrong over and over again. Tax cuts will not increase our national debt. That's a bogus argument. It's an argument the Democrats made in the 2000s after Bush's tax cuts. But revenue to the Internal Revenue Service from personal income taxes grew exponentially, not arithmetically, and set records under Bush. Highest amount of tax revenue ever collected because of his tax cuts. And the same thing happened under Trump. Tax revenue increased exponentially. The problem is they just keep spending more and more money. This year we have a deficit. Oh, check it out. These guys are singing. Little girl. Good little band there. Anyway, but yeah, you're completely wrong, Courtney. I'm sorry to bust your bubble there, but you're wrong. Every time that we've had these major tax cuts, when Kennedy did the tax cuts, revenue to the federal government surged. When Reagan did the tax cuts, revenue surged. When Bush did the tax cuts, revenue surged. When Trump did the tax cuts, revenue surged. Every single time. There's an initial drop, but if a restrained government wouldn't have a problem with that. They spend money like drunken sailors. Vivek Ramaswamy is the best candidate for VP for me, says LL Entertainment. Well, Kristi Noem was the best for me until she had that problem with her biography and the dog. So is running mate selection up to Donald Trump? It's up to Donald Trump, not to the party. Party has no say in it, Neil. It's up to the candidate. Yeah, he could resign, but then the Speaker of the House becomes the Vice President. That's how the secession works. So, yeah, so J.D. Vance is who we're stuck with. Look, he's not a bad person. It's just that he's not trustworthy. I don't trust him for a second. He may have grown up poor, and he may like to insult hillbillies and white trash people by pretending that he has empathy for them because he grew up in poor with a drug addict mother. I'm not buying it. You know, I grew up in poverty too, but I don't insult people of a lower income like that. Yeah, so listen to Courtney talking about he misses the Rhino Republican Party of John McCain, Mitt Romney, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, please. I don't miss that at all. Yeah, Vivek is a good candidate, but Vivek is a person that's not getting the traction that he would like to get. So we will have a speaker from the union speaking tonight, Courtney, at the end. And you asked a question which I haven't answered yet. How do I feel about labor unions now that their rank and file is supporting Trump? I still find no use whatsoever for labor unions. Thank you to the rank and file of labor unions who got their head out of their ass, and now they're going to vote for the correct person instead of voting as they're told to do by their slave masters in the unions. But I have no use for unions whatsoever. They're abysmal, corrupt, arrogant, thieving bastards. I was subjected to the Teamsters who stole money out of my paycheck every week, and I hated them because of it. And they harassed me on the work site. No use for unions whatsoever. They had a time in this country, they had a time in the world. Unions are simply a way to drive up cost and make life unaffordable for the average working man and woman. That's the purpose of a union. It enriches a small elite of scumbags at the expense of everyone else while harassing workers and leading to lower productivity. Yes, and Gerald Ford was the Speaker of the House, Courtney. That's how the process works. The Speaker of the House. He's the only president never elected to those offices. Yep. Yep. So need to decrease their spending. Exactly right. Thank you, Hendo. How is it that Hendo and I have the same values, and he grew up in the Western Cape and I grew up in Appalachia? How do we get that? Make America Great once again, it says on the wall there at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we've seen a host of speakers tonight. I haven't covered all of them, but I've covered a number of them. Tonight we had speaking Ron Johnson, then Chris Jansen performing music, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mark Robinson, North Carolina, Wesley Hunt of Texas, John James of Michigan, Sarah Workman, Arizona Mothers, Katie Britt from Alabama, Tim Scott from South Carolina, Glenn Youngkin from Virginia, Bob Unoe, Chief Executive of the Goya Foods. That's a company that was harassed by leftists and tried to put him out of business, even though it's a Hispanic company. Governor Kristi Noem, whom I covered here. Bob Bartels, New York Union official. We had him. Byron Donalds from Florida. David Sachs, the Cape Town-born American entrepreneur who's the founder of Yap and was the chief operating officer of PayPal back in the day. Incredibly wealthy as a consequence of that. Born in Cape Town, grew up in America. Vanessa Farra, the executive director of Moms for America Action. She was the best speaker so far in my view. She didn't need the teleprompter. She only looked at it occasionally and spoke from the heart. Charlie Kirk, the little weasel from founder of Turning Point USA, the ageist organization. And then Senator Marsha Blackburn just spoke. Yet to come tonight, Mark Laws, a grandfather. Benjamin Josephs, a small business owner in Michigan. Amber Rose, a mother and entrepreneur. Linda Fornos, an immigrant from Nicaragua. And Sean O'Brien, the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, the union that I love to hate. Still coming tonight. Here we go.
Lee Greenwood.
Oh, Lee Greenwood. Proud to be an American. Oh, my goodness. That was unexpected. Oh, my goodness. Lee Greenwood. I can't let this play. I can't let this play because I'll get a copyright strike.
Is there any doubt who's going to be the next president of the United States?
Lee Greenwood. What an American. Oh, my goodness.
Prayer works. This nation based on faith. Prayer works. Because
Wow.
he was sure
I'm so sorry I can't play it, folks. I can't take the risk of a copyright strike.
that the
So when he starts singing
just enough
Proud to be an American, I've got to tune it out.
to be the next president of the United States.
Wow. Lee Greenwood. What an American. Here we go.
We have believed for so long that God will make some changes in this country. And he's about to make a change in the current administration and send them home. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. Tonight we make the decision on what's right for America. More prosperity, less gas prices, less food prices, help for our veterans, and God bless our military wherever they are in these United States and abroad. There would be no wars.
Ladies
there wasn't
and
any when
gentlemen,
President Trump
please
was president.
welcome the next
And he's gonna be
president of the
president
United
to fix every
States,
problem.
Oh, here comes Trump.
J. Trump.
What? Is Trump there? Trump is there.
We are here tonight of one purpose, and that is to elect Donald J. Trump as the next president of the United States. He is here
Mike Johnson,
tonight
J.D.
to show
Vance.
His courage, his defiance against somebody who tried to kill him. You will not take this man down. He has the courage.
Lee Greenwood. Look at that. Tucker Carlson up there. Probably Byron Donald's guest.
Please welcome Mark Laws from Cedar Springs, Michigan.
All right, now we have 4 regular Americans coming up. Fight, 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 fight. We haven't gotten to the stage yet. Yeah, there she is. Kimberly Guilfoyle. We want Trump. Yeah, they want Trump to come speak. Is he coming? He's coming! No, he's going to sit down. No, he's going to sit down. Okay, whoa, almost got us there. So Trump sits down now for the remaining 4 speakers. And Tucker right next to him there. Byron Donalds, Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance. So we're waiting for the gentleman to speak. So as I said, the next speaker is supposed to be Mark Laws, the grandfather, followed by Ben Joseph, small business owner in Michigan. Amber Rose, a mother and entrepreneur. Linda Fornos, an immigrant from Nicaragua. And finally, Sean O'Brien, president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. So are we ready for our speaker now?
Good evening. I'm Mark Laws, and I live in Western Michigan.
Michigan delegation cheering him.
I'm not a senator or a governor or some other politician.
Nope.
But I'm just a regular guy. But to my kids and my grandkids who call me Peepaw, I'm the guy. I live on a fixed income, so I'm not one of the people that watch their portfolios. No, in the big boy Joe economy, I just worry about getting through the day. But I'm fortunate because I don't have a mortgage. If I did, I'm really not sure how I'd make it.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have a mortgage.
The big boy Joe inflation has turned our dollars into nickels.
Yeah, that's what it's done.
And in Michigan, we got 180,000 plus people that are in tax lien foreclosure right now.
Jeez.
So even though I don't have a mortgage, I
still lose your home.
Pay the government to rent my house.
Exactly.
If I don't, they take it away.
Exactly. That's what I've been trying to tell you all.
When I'm asked how I'm doing, I answer honestly. I say I'm doing okay. But don't you remember under President Trump, we didn't have to settle for just okay. We were doing great.
Great. Yep.
I've wanted to make some improvements to my home, but with inflation,
can't afford
the price of materials, that's not possible. So I don't want to go into debt, so I just put it off. I'd also like to spoil my grandkids with some great Peepaw unique gifts for their birthdays. But with the price of gas and groceries, I don't do that. I settle for a cake and ice cream. Prices keep going up, but my income stays the same.
Same here.
I just keep putting things off, hoping that I'll be able to afford them again someday. It's got me thinking. I've been hoping for better days, but life is happening right now.
Yep.
And we can't waste any more time on the big boy Joe terrible economic policies. We need to bring Donald Trump back right now.
Yep.
We need to know and share the 20 promises that Donald Trump has made. We need to get involved with the Trump 47. And you remember, ballots win elections, so that's the best way to do it. I know a lot of folks just kind of tune the politics out, but we really can't afford to anymore because we're not living in the same country that we grew up in.
Yep.
Cutesy time is over.
Yep. Yep.
We need to all of us put our shoulder to the wheel and push along and get Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, to be number 47 again. Thank you, and God bless America.
This gentleman got some physical ailment there. That's why it took so long. I didn't see that. He's missing a leg, it looks like.
Doesn't just have seniors worried. It has them scared to death. Biden's inflation has retirees at risk of running out of money.
Tell me about it.
The cost of groceries is forcing many seniors to choose between food and their prescriptions. Their Social Security isn't keeping up with inflation. And thanks to Biden and Harris's open border disaster, allowing over 10 million illegals
closer to 20 or 30.
The whole Social Security system is at risk. And now, many seniors are also struggling to afford their housing. It's no wonder one advocacy group calls this Biden's war on seniors.
Yep.
President Trump has seniors' backs. He got seniors' Medicare Advantage premiums cut 34%. And he'll fix Biden's broken economy and get inflation down, just like he did before. And President Trump has made it crystal clear he will always protect seniors' Social Security and Medicare and oppose any cuts in their benefits. President Trump, he'll make America affordable again.
Yeah, I really don't believe what you're saying there, cult of personality. Cult of personality, people find no fault. Benjamin Joseph. People find no fault with someone that for a cult of personality. I find tons of fault with Donald Trump.
Hello, Michigan.
Michigan? Oh, that's where he's from.
Hello, my fellow patriots. I am the owner of a home remodeling business that my father Steve started in 1972. During the Trump boom, we were thriving. Under Biden, we are surviving. I know other business owners, like many of you in this room, can relate. With the financial strain caused by the Biden-Harris economy, many clients are tightening their belts, closing their wallets, and cutting back on their home remodeling projects. To keep work coming in, I've had to lower my margins, and I mean lower them. I'm now barely making payroll, and our families just have enough to live on. But we can't build up any savings, and we can't move forward. As parents, we want to provide for our children. But more and more parents like myself have to look their little girl or their little boy in the eye when they're asked for something and say, "We can't afford it." Those 4 words are heartbreaking. We didn't have to say those words under Donald Trump when he was president. That's because Donald Trump is a businessman, not a crooked career politician.
Yeah, Courtney, that's nonsense. Republicans never cut Social Security. They like it just as much as Democrats. I would cut it. Absolutely.
President Trump understands what business owners need.
You're welcome, Dave.
Because he is a business owner himself and has succeeded. He knew we could create millions of great jobs if given the chance, and we did. The Trump's tax cuts and regulation cuts empowered entrepreneurs like you and me and enabled us to expand our businesses. We need him back in the White House.
They did enjoy that Naval Academy, but they're not from AfriForum. One's from Solidarity.
Of Michigan at this convention, I want to give a special Michigander thank you to President Trump for being our champion.
Michigan. Been there many, many times.
He has inspired so many of us, even in this room, to step up and get involved in the fight to save America. With his leadership and our help, we will make America affordable again, wealthy again, and great again.
Well said, young man. Well said.
May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless and continue to protect President Trump and his family.
Amber Rose is up next, an entrepreneur.
And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Amber Rose is up next. Sounds like a porn name. Actually, sorry, Miss Rose, but it does sound like a porn name.
Please welcome Amber Rose from South Philadelphia.
So we're running through the last of our speakers tonight.
Hello.
She got a tattoo on her
My
forehead.
name is Amber Rose. I'm a model and entrepreneur. Thank you. But most importantly, I'm a mother. My whole world revolves around providing for my children, keeping them safe, and giving them an opportunity for a better life.
Why do you have a tattoo on your
That's something
forehead?
that unites all American parents. Whether we're Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, or liberals, we all want a better country for our children.
She sounds like a porn star. Let me look her up.
But I'm here tonight to tell you, no matter your political background, that the best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump President of the United States.
She's a rapper.
Now you may be wondering why I'm up here telling you this. I'm no politician, and I don't want to be.
Oh, she's married to Wiz
But I
Khalifa.
do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump. I know this because for a long time I believed those lies, so I'm here to set the record straight. The first person I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse, and I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump.
And you were wrong.
People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters.
So she's married to Wiz Khalifa. Okay, I know who she is now.
I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love.
That's right. That's right. There's the truth right there. We don't give a flip. Just believe in conservative values. That's all we cherish.
And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong.
Courtney, she's up here. Look up here. Up here, Courtney. Up here. Not down there.
So I let go of my fear of judgment, of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you.
It takes courage.
Love you too. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the U.S. military. Thank you for your service, Dad. Where's he at? I love you, Dad. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. When I met the president and Melania for the first time, he was kind and generous and funny as hell. Very funny. The First Lady was gracious and smart with a smile that will brighten up any room. If you're watching this tonight, you know our country is in trouble. Just like me. When you go to the store and buy food for your family, you're shocked. When you fill up your gas tank, you're
shocked.
pissed.
Yeah, you're pissed. You're right.
I know I am.
I'm with you, Amber.
And when you turn on the news, you are just exhausted. Inflation is out of control. And you know in your heart it was not like this under Donald Trump.
Yep.
My message to you tonight comes from a humble place. The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes. Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, so Courtney, look at her wiggling going off there. Courtney, she's of European and
Please
Cape Verdean
welcome
descent.
Latino-American Linda Fornos.
So bear in mind that Trump was going into publicly available information, so when he condemned them. So the facts changed, so you shouldn't blame Trump for that. She was rocking the speech.
Years ago, I left Nicaragua for a better life in a fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada.
60 years ago, wow.
America welcomed me, and I embraced the values of hard work, learning the language, and respecting the laws. It's the American thing to do.
Well, she came as a
In
young adult.
2000, 2022, my 3 boys and I faced a devastating house fire. We lost everything. And starting over in Joe Biden's economy was almost impossible. The Biden economy is driving prices through the roof. Rent, gas, groceries, everything.
Groceries.
As a life insurance worker, I see the struggle of people trying to save for their future while barely managing their basic needs. I'm living that same struggle every day. Life is too hard right now. One of my sons works 3 jobs.
Wow.
And the other holds down 2. That makes 6 jobs for 3 people just to survive in Biden's economy.
Jeez.
Our open borders are making this problem worse. It's upsetting to see millions of dollars being sent to help immigrants who came here illegally, while hardworking families who did it the right way are left struggling.
Yep. Well said.
The fact is that illegal immigration hurts legal immigrants the most.
Yep. They're the real victims here.
The Biden system is backwards and broken. In Biden's America, opportunities to get ahead are dwindling, and our education system is failing our children. What happened to teaching reading, writing and math?
Yeah, exactly. Arithmetic. 3 R's. Reading, writing, arithmetic.
Now, it's like our kids are getting a degree in pronoun studies.
Pronoun studies.
She,
they, them.
I have expected my son to come home with a diploma in advanced they, them theory.
Advanced they, them theory.
Life was completely different under President Trump. We prosper. To my beloved Latino community, it's time to wake up and smell the cafecito.
I'm loving this lady.
In 2020, I made a mistake. A mistake that is hard to admit.
She voted for Biden.
Especially in this room.
Yep, she voted for Biden. We forgive you, somebody said.
In 2020, I voted for Joe Biden. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He has made me regret it.
I mean, all of us regret your vote.
This November, my vote won't be taken for granted. And this time, I won't regret it. Please join me in voting for Donald J. Trump.
Trumpito! I will vote for Donald Trump. Remember that song? All right, the final speaker of the night is Sean O'Brien,
President of the International Brotherhood of
Teamsters.
Sean O'Brien.
This is the last speaker for the night. Maybe Trump will come down. I wouldn't hold my breath on it. The Union. Let's see what he's got to say. Well, he looks a little stiff there. Like his shoes are too tight. Morning, call me Novak.
Greetings, delegates and guests. I'm Sean O'Brien, General President of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters.
Why are you cheering? It's a union. We hate unions.
I'd like to give my peeps from the greatest state in the nation, Massachusetts, some props. What's up?
Massachusetts, the greatest state in the nation. I know he's not well.
First, I want to thank the hardworking Teamsters
Hardworking.
union members here in Milwaukee who play vital roles in the building and operations of this convention. I also want to thank President Donald Trump for opening the RNC's doors to the Teamsters Union and inviting me to speak before you tonight.
Before yous, speaking before yous tonight. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, before yous.
I travel all across this country and meet with my members every week.
Taking money out of their pockets.
What I see? An American worker being taken for granted.
By the unions.
Workers being sold out to big banks, big tech, corporates, and the elite.
By the
and
unions.
I'm not the only one who sees this. Everyday families see it. The American people aren't stupid. They know the system is broken. We all know how Washington is run. Working people have no chance of winning this fight. That's why I'm here today. Because I refuse to keep doing the same things my predecessors did.
Well, finally, somebody's got their head screwed on straight.
Today, the Teamsters are here to say we are not beholden to anyone or any party.
It's about damn time. It's only been 100 years, you little shitheads.
We will create an agenda and work with a bipartisan coalition ready to accomplish something real for the American worker.
Yeah, whatever.
And I don't care about getting criticized. It's an honor to be the first Teamster in our 121-year history to address the Republican National Convention.
First in 121 years. See, they've just been useless frauds for over a century.
Several months ago, I asked the RNC and the DNC for the opportunity to speak. To be frank, when President Trump invited me to speak at this convention, there was political unrest on the left and on the right.
You're right, because we don't trust you for a microsecond.
Anti-union groups demanded the president rescind his invitation.
No, you're welcome to speak, but we don't trust you.
Called me a traitor.
Well, that's because they eat their own. AFL-CIO, one of the most evil unions out there.
And this is precisely why it's so important for me to be here today. Think about this. Think about this. The Teamsters are doing something correct. If the extremes in both parties think I shouldn't be on this stage. President Trump had the backbone to open the doors to this Republican convention, and that's unprecedented.
It's because he's smart.
No other nominee in the race would have invited the Teamsters into this arena. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want, but one thing is clear. President Trump is a candidate who is not afraid of hearing from new, loud, and often critical voices.
That's true.
And I think we all can agree, whether people like him or they don't like him, in light of what happened to him on Saturday, he has proven to be one tough SOB.
All right, you're starting to win. You're starting to win me over there, Sean. You're starting to win me over. Yeah, did you voluntarily join that union, Courtney, or were you forced to? Yeah. He's bringing the house down.
Now, when I won the presidency of the Teamsters in a national election 2.5 years ago, we started reaching across the aisle. In the past, the Teamsters have endorsed GOP candidates, including Nixon, Reagan, and George H.W. Bush.
It's a long time ago.
But over the last 40 years, the Republican Party has really pursued strong relationships with organized labor. There are some in the party who stand in active opposition to labor unions. This too must change.
Well, prove yourself to be worthy of our love, and it will change.
To be clear, at the end of the day, the Teamsters are not interested if you have a D, R, or an I next to your name. We want to know one thing. What are you doing to help American workers?
Well, I'd love to see that be true. It's nice. Good sentiment, Sean. We'll see.
As a negotiator, I know that no window or door should ever be permanently shut. In my administration, the Teamsters reached out to 8 Republican senators who stood up for railroad Teamsters over our fight for paid sick leave. Josh Hawley was one of them.
Yeah, from Missouri. Great senator.
We started talking. Senator Hawley changed his position on national right to work. Then we started walking. Senator Hawley walked a Teamsters picket line in St. Louis and a UAW picket line in Wentzville, Missouri. More than that, I want to recognize Senator Hawley for his direct, relentless, and pointed questioning of corporate talking heads, lawyers, CEOs, and apologists.
So Senator Hawley betrayed the right to work? I'm done with him if that's true.
He is not willing to accept their pillaging of working people's pocketbooks. I know from a career in negotiating that you get nowhere by slamming your fist on the table. The first step is to listen. The Teamsters and the GOP may not agree on many issues, but a growing group has shown the courage to sit down and consider points of view that aren't funded by big money think tanks.
Right to work laws are brilliant and ensure full employment. They undermine corrupt unions, yes.
Senators like J.D. Vance, Roger Marshall, and Representatives Nicole Malliotakis, Mike Lawler, and Brian Fitzpatrick are among elected officials who truly care about working people. And this group is expanding and is putting fear into those who have monopolized our very broken system in America today. There are far too many people on both sides of the aisle still caught up in knee-jerk reactions to unions, who subscribe to the same tired clap.
It's not a knee-jerk.
Unions destroy American.
Yeah, you destroyed my income.
Take a moment to consider United Parcel Service, which is the largest private sector logistics company, and it's been unionized for more than 100 years.
And you stole my money.
350,000 Teamsters make it run. We work for
because we have no choice.
Wages, quality health care, and secure pensions.
At the cost of consumers.
Rules that ensure fairness and due process for both sides.
And your shop stewards harass me every day on the job.
Package delivery company in the world.
It's not because of union. It's in spite of unions. You horrible thieving bastards stole my money.
Well, let's not forget that UPS doesn't provide these great wages and benefits out of the kindness of its heart.
No, it cost us a fortune to ship stuff.
Because the Teamsters fight for it. All 350,000 of us.
And we pay a fortune to use UPS. It's unaffordable.
You know, corporatists hate when working people join together to form unions.
Yeah, because they're
for
corrupt.
A century, major employers have waged a war against labor by forming corporate unions of their own. We need to call the Chamber of Commerce and the business roundtables what they are. They are unions for big business. And here's another fact. Against gigantic multinational corporation, an individual worker has zero power.
That's horse shit, Courtney. They took 20% of my income every week.
Democratic unions that we win real improvements on wages, benefits, and working conditions.
They charge no lower fees for part-time employees than they do for full-time.
National economies. Amazon is valued over $2 trillion. That makes it the 14th largest economy in the world. What is sickening is that Amazon has abandoned any national allegiance. Amazon's sole focus is on lining its own pockets. Remember, elites have no party, elites have no nation.
So they pay people with no experience $22 an hour to work in a warehouse.
The stock price at the expense of the American
See, you just lost it, Sean. You're so full of shit. They pay $22 an hour to people with no high school, no experience out of high school, no education, no training. Stop your horse shit.
In my office in Washington, D.C., I can see the United
In
States
D.C.
Capitol from my
Says it
window.
all.
I see well-intentioned people arrive in Washington and get eaten up by an unforgiving system. The responsibility to average Americans takes a back seat. The objective now becomes survival. Fundraiser after fundraiser. Corporate consultants hedge every initiative. The Hill crawls with lifers, bouncing from government jobs to corporate jobs and back again. I think we can all agree D.C. is a pretty treacherous area. Most legislation is never meant to go anywhere, and it's all talk. And in America, talk isn't cheap. It's very expensive, and it comes at the cost of our own country.
You're welcome to disagree with me, Courtney, but I'm just telling you my experience with them.
Broken. The elites are not laboring on behalf of workers. There is a political caste system that prevents citizens from accessing their representatives to hold them accountable. For a moment in time, working people in America were seen as essential. Sadly, it took a global pandemic for political and corporate elites to notice this fact.
Is he going to talk for an hour?
This question. Since the end of the pandemic, when was the last time you heard major news outlets regularly refer to workers as essential? You haven't. The men and women who provide goods and services, deliver packages, stock grocery shelves, care for patients,
Don't need
pick
unions.
up your trash,
Don't need
and
unions.
keep our communities safe are
Don't need
taken
unions.
for granted. All the while, the stock market booms, housing prices hit record highs.
You think those people don't have mutual funds and retirement accounts,
But the
genius?
income of everyday Americans are shrinking in the face of inflation. At the gas pumps, at the grocery store, with the electrical bill, and with the car insurance. This has got to change.
Then quit demanding higher wages, dumbass.
Never forget, American workers own this nation.
He's giving me chest pains, LL Entertainment, because he's so full of shit.
We are not renters. We are not tenants. But the corporate elite treat us like squatters, and that is a crime.
This is
We've
corporate.
got
This
to
is hate
fix
on
it.
corporate America. This is not a winning strategy.
Now, this'll
No,
shock
it's
you.
illegal. We can't join a union. Whoever heard of such dumb shit? South African soldiers can join a union. It's dumb.
It's time for both sides of Congress to stand their butts up.
And do what? Give you a 40-hour minimum wage?
Trade
$40?
policies that put American workers first.
Well, then stop AGOA.
It needs to be easier for companies to remain in America.
Then lower the corporate tax rate to 0.
We need legal protections that make it safer for workers to get a contract. We must stop corporations from abandoning local communities to inflate their bottom line.
How you propose doing that?
We
It's
need
free world.
meaningful bankruptcy reform. Today, corporate vultures buy up companies like Yellow Freight with the intent of driving them into bankruptcy and feasting on their remains.
This isn't new. KKR's done this for 50 years.
Begging for crumbs as third-tier creditors. Labor law must be reformed. Americans vote for a union but can never get a union contract. Companies fire workers who try to join unions and hide behind toothless laws that are meant to protect working people but are manipulated to benefit corporations. This is economic terrorism at its best.
Oh, good
An
Lord.
individual cannot withstand such an
Oh,
assault.
God.
A fighting cannot afford to greedy employers know it. There are no
Greedy
consequences
employers.
for the company, only the worker.
You had an opportunity to say something useful here, but he just turns into a
Under
shill
our current system,
for unions.
massive companies like Amazon, Uber, Lyft, and Walmart take zero responsibilities for the workers they employ.
That is such a
These
lie.
companies offer no real health insurance,
That's
no
a lie.
retirement benefits,
That's a lie.
no paid leave,
That's a
relying
lie.
on underfunded public assistance.
That's a lie. Amazon
And who
does
foots
all
the
that.
bill?
So does
The
Walmart.
individual taxpayer. The biggest recipients of welfare in this country are corporations, and this is real corruption. We must put workers
Oh,
first.
God. Courtney, I hosted someone from AfriForum, which is a civil rights group. It falls under the Solidarity umbrella. And somebody who's with Solidarity, who is a larger group than simply a trade union. That was its origins.
2021, Teamsters nationwide elected me to fight for them. And that's precisely what I'm doing.
Well, shut up then.
Something
Go
is
fight.
wrong in this country, and we need to say it out loud.
Politicians and unions.
I will always speak for America and the American worker, both union and non-union.
You don't speak for me. Piss off, Footsec.
I challenge each and every one of you, and especially my friends on the Democratic side, to embrace cooperation, to truly collaborate, to achieve meaningful and productive change, to ensure we make this great nation in this world the bigger, faster, and strongest nation in the entire world.
This is a
I love
lecture.
this country. The Teamsters love this country. Our 1.3 million members move America on the roads, in the ports, on the rails,
Because they have no choice.
and in the air.
Their arms are twisted.
At the end of the day, if the powers
Union
that be
terrorism.
stop me from raising my voice on behalf of American workers, I will not have one single regret. I still carry my commercial driver's license.
Good for you.
I still have my place on the union seniority list. You'll find me back in Boston driving a tractor trailer, delivering equipment for Shaughnessy and Ahern. Because I have the protection of a union contract that gives me the freedom to speak my mind and to fight like hell. God bless the greatest nation. Thank you very much.
Now that was obnoxious. That was obnoxious. What a mistake that was, letting that idiot talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back RNC Chairman Michael Whatley.
I think we're going to get Trump. I think we're going to get Trump. We want Trump, they're chanting. He's got the gavel to end the evening. Is Trump going to speak? We want Trump, yep.
For a benediction, please welcome Pastor James Remke.
Okay, I guess we're going to close without Trump. Let's wait and see.
It's a great pleasure to be here. Great pleasure to see President Donald Trump safe. And if I may, before the benediction, give you this promise. You're going to be so blessed. You're going to be tired of being blessed.
Oh, God. Oh, this guy's hilarious.
Believe me.
Go, Father.
Let us pray.
Oh, jeez.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, you have given us this good land as our heritage. Grant that we remember your generosity and constantly do your will. Bless our land with honest industry, truthful education, and an honorable way of life. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil course of action. We give thanks to you for keeping President Trump safe. We pray for the families of those affected by the demonic violence at the rally on Saturday. And we pray you would send your holy angels to guard and keep President Trump from all harm and danger. Grant that we who came from many nations with many different languages may become a united people. Support us in defending our liberties, and give those to whom we have entrusted the authority of government the spirit and wisdom that there may be justice and peace in our land. When times are prosperous, may our hearts be thankful. and in troubled times. Do not let our trust in you fail. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace.
Oh, well done, Father. Are we going to wrap it up now? Thanks, man.
For a benediction, please welcome from California National Committee woman Harmeet Dillon.
Are we going to do every faith now?
Thank you, everyone. These last 48 hours have been some of the most intense, yet most prayerful of our lives. The heinous attack on President Trump and his supporters made all of us pause and seek answers and comfort. I come from a family of Sikh immigrants. I am honored to share with you, my fellow Republicans and guests tonight, a prayer from my faith tradition practiced by over 25 million worldwide. We recite the Ardas prayer before any new endeavor, giving thanks to God and asking for his protection and help to uphold the values of humility, truth, courage, service, and justice for all. To show respect, we cover our heads when we pray.
I'm not really sure how that shows respect.
Utha kar tum pe ardas, jiyo pind sab teri ras. तुम मात पिता हम बारक तेरे, तुम्हारी कृपा में सुख कनेरे, कोई न जाने तुम्हारा अंत, ऊंचे ते ऊंचा भगवंत, सगल समगरी तुमरे सूत्रधारी, तुम ते होए सो आज्ञाकारी, तुम्हारी गत मित तुम ही जानी, नानक दास सदा कुर्बानी. Dear Waheguru, our one true God, we thank you for creating America as a unique haven on this earth where all people are free to worship according to their faith. We seek your blessings and guidance for our beloved country. Please bless our people with wisdom as they vote in the upcoming election, and please bless with humility, honesty, skill, and integrity all those who conduct the election. Finally, we thank you for the Chardi Kala spirit that we have witnessed in President Trump. That is, the tireless and uplifting spirit that is sustained even in the face of violent adversity, like a founding father centuries ago. And we thank you, dear God, for protecting his life. We thank you for his examples of nirbha, fearlessness, and nirvair, the absence of hate when faced with vitriol. These examples of extraordinary calm inspire us. Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Bane Sarbata Pala. May your name forever be exalted, spreading happiness and blessings and good spirit, that everyone may prosper and enjoy the grace of your peace. Thank you.
Why, Courtney? Why do you say Richard is going to be rolling his grave? He did more for minorities than most presidents ever have.
Senator Vance, congratulations.
Not showing much respect there, Courtney.
President Trump,
Congratulations.
we are honored to have you here tonight, and on behalf of the entire Republican Party all across America, we are grateful for you to be our nominee for the 47th President of the United States of America.
Come on, Trump, come speak. Come speak. Don't make us wait. Impromptu speech. 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 I don't care for J.D. Vance. Call me Novak. I said so earlier. We want Trump. Come on, make it happen. Come on, we want Trump. Let's go, Trump. Why is the camera on Trump?
The chair declares that the 2024 Republican National Convention stand in recess until tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Oh, boo. Boo, we want Trump. That's lame. That's lame. Playing Journey now. I got to turn that off. Well, that sucks. So that's it. No Trump tonight. No Vance tonight. I guess Vance was just going down go. Living in a lonely world. The Trumpster. There he is. Looks rather, I'm not sure, resolute, but not so thrilled. Some new faces around him. That's not the security detail we saw in Butler. Now that is an interesting bandage on his ear. Trumpster headed down. Security. I got a lot of Secret Service around him. I count 8 guards around him right now. At least 8 people around Trump. His cover band's pretty good. Singing Journey. But nobody can do it like Steve Perry. Trump waving to the crowd, shaking his fist. First night of the Republican National Convention is in the books, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of big speakers tonight. Marsha Blackburn, Kristi Noem, Ron Johnson. Everybody trying to shake Trump's hand. Everybody trying to shake his hand. Nobody's leaving the floor while the Trumpster's still out there, folks. No, I'm not going anywhere, Carlos. You can see the state delegations out there. Colorado, Idaho, Virginia, Utah, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, Oklahoma. Crowd singing. Yeah, that was funny, Dave. You'll be blessed. You'll be blessed like you've never been blessed before. It'll be the best. It was great. People that love Trump really love him. Those who vote for him really vote for him. And those who hate him really hate him. People starting to work their way off the floor now. We saw earlier, of course, that Tucker Carlson was up there in a nice Gucci spot up there. Next to Byron Donalds, who was next to Donald Trump. Next to him was J.D. Vance, and then Mike Johnson. Now that side of the room is already cleared out a bit. This isn't for you and me, folks. This is for the connected, the elites. People give tons of money, who are rich, who are connected. They get to go to this and be delegates. The rest of us don't. You're right, Sean. America will be painted red come November. All right, Vilma, have a good night. Or good rest, I should say. Probably have to get up soon. Street lights. The band's still playing there. And the first night of the Republican National Convention from Milwaukee, Wisconsin is in the books. Donald Trump makes an unexpected appearance at the convention, but does not speak on the first night. He'll accept his party's nomination, along with J.D. Vance, to be president and vice president. and they will make it onto the ballot in all 50 states despite the scumbag efforts to keep them off the ballot. They have tried everything, including murdering the former president. Yep. It'd be anything. It'd be awesome to be at one of these conventions. I've never been at one in my entire life. Democrat or Republican. Have been to CPAC, though, and that's pretty powerful, exciting stuff there. All righty. Well, folks, you've been watching live color commentary, play-by-play, blow-by-blow, live color commentary and reaction to the Republican National Convention out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with a host of speakers tonight. And we'll see who the list is announced for tomorrow night. The names should get bigger as we go along. Where people are placed in the broadcast schedule is indication of the relative importance in the Republican Party. Some big names are on tonight, which is a little bit of a surprise. Marsha Blackburn, Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem was a strong candidate consideration for vice president, but fell by the wayside after comments about her killing her dog or something like that appeared in the press. Kind of kibosh on her candidacy. The governor of North Dakota also was informed he's not the guy, as was Marco Rubio, but no one really ever expected Marco Rubio to be the vice presidential pick. He's just a rhino. Yep. So, lots of folks at this convention there. And this is the hope for America. We'll see how the media spin this tonight. They're already saying bad things about J.D. Vance. It won't change my vote for Trump. He picked Vance. The vice president really doesn't matter that much. But they're trying to submarine the ticket by claiming J.D. Vance is a radical. J.D. Vance was spewing your leftist party lines just a couple years ago, despite claiming to be a conservative. So I find the leftists just comical. They don't have anything, so they're grasping at straws. Yes, Courtney, we know that you are so happy that Donald Trump is talking to labor unions. Tulsi Gabbard would have been a horrible pick. She's a deranged lunatic on the left-hand side of the aisle. The only reason you like her is because she said some things you like, but she can't be trusted. She also overplays her military credentials like she's some great war hero. She's not. She's just another soldier. And she got her rank because of her political prominence. So, is that Marjorie Taylor Greene? No. Is it? I can't see if that's... No, it's somebody that looks like her. It's not MTG. No, that's not her. Just somebody that looked like her from a distance. Bleach blondes all look the same from a distance. No, that's not her. I think Trump would choose a woman. Yeah, he didn't choose a woman. I thought maybe Kristi Noem was going to get the pick. But he didn't. Now that young lady has a natural hairstyle there, hair color. I don't know who that is. Anyway, so they're filing out now. It's a Jewish fellow there. That was a nice closing prayer there by the father. It was pretty impressive. Newsmax got an advert up there. I guess they're covering this live. Fox is covering it. I don't know if the major legacy media are covering it or not, but Fox News is covering it. Newsmax is covering it. One American Network is likely also covering it too. So, people collecting all their stuff. Can you imagine sitting there for hours on end listening to all this stuff? I don't have that patience anymore. I don't think I could do it. All right, so the band has stopped. Hey, Kathy from Mullen. Are you in Canada? Canadian Broadcasting Network, is that what that is? All right, so the music has stopped, so I'll put the sound back on. You can hear it's quite quiet in there now. Lights are out on the band, so they're done. Republican National Convention 2024 from Milwaukee in Wisconsin, folks. Oh, you're in Cape Town. Okay. All right, we're going to close it down there, and then I'll give my final comments here. Just a second there. And there we go. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll try to do the same tomorrow. Wednesday, I won't be able to do the same coverage. I can start later in the evening, but I have a 7 to 9 radio program, so I won't be able to do it that time. Anyway, tonight, the exciting stuff came from Amber Rose. She was pretty exciting. Her speech was pretty emphatic. It was interesting. You know, she looks like she's mixed race, but she's mostly European white. Her mom is part Cape Verdean. and her father's Scotch-Irish, but her dad told her she didn't know what she's talking about. So she did some research, found out she didn't know what she's talking about. Well, she's married to Wiz Khalifa and has kids, so she has some biracial kids. Yep. Well, Courtney, the Democratic National Convention is in September, or is it in August? In August or September, I can't recall. I'll consider it, but it's going to be difficult for me. I've watched the Democratic National Convention all the way up until 2008. That's the last one I watched, and then I couldn't stomach them after that because it's just nothing but lies, and it was just all like that union clown that came up there, Sean O'Brien, who just made me want to vomit the whole time. I'll consider it. But this part of my broadcasting is not news reporting; it's commentary. So it's just going to be mostly negative stuff. The most memorable Democratic National Convention I ever watched was 2004, when they gave a cherry-picked position to Barack Hussein Obama to speak when he was a Illinois senator. Not senator at national level, but a state senator. They gave him a cherry position to speak on the main night and introduce him to the world. And I listened to him, and I was amazed. I thought this guy's really interesting. But he was just a complete liar, a total fraud. Everything he said was just bullshit for the cameras. Everything he said was a lie. He doesn't care about families, doesn't care about patriotism. He didn't oppose gay marriage. All those things were lies. So he misled us. But I never fell for it because I could see that it wasn't real. But it was just, I could tell this guy was such a fraud. Yeah, so Kathy, oh, you're in Cape Town. Okay, all right. Yep. Is there a doctor in the house? Shrink, says Randall. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's the end of the convention there, folks, for the first night. And it was all right. I mean, no really rousing stuff. I have to say that the nonsense from the head of the Teamsters was really nauseating. Honestly, it was very nauseating, folks. I don't know about you, but I was just put off by it quite a bit. Anyway, I just want to get a screen capture of something here real quick. So I've got that, and I can use it for tomorrow. Yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Biden's just ordered Secret Service Protect. Yeah, no, I saw that. I reported on it earlier. Long overdue. The administration should be held liable for their malfeasance, their negligence in not protecting Kennedy sooner. This is ridiculous. So, what do I think of Bill O'Reilly? Dave, I used to watch the O'Reilly Factor regularly when I was in the States. Didn't always have access to it outside the States, but I enjoyed the program. But in the latter years of Bill O'Reilly's O'Reilly Factor, he became an arrogant asshat who liked the sound of his own voice, and that's all his focus was. And so he became a bit too much. I couldn't really stomach Bill O'Reilly. And when his program was canceled, I wasn't heartbroken. Tucker Carlson came on, and Tucker was very uneven and unsure of himself and flat-footed early on, and I was not impressed with Tucker Carlson initially. But he found his rhythm, he found his pace, and he found his spot. And Tucker Carlson became even better than O'Reilly ever was in that job. O'Reilly today is a very opinionated person who is occasionally interesting to listen to. But when he was on the O'Reilly Factor in his prime, he was brilliant. He was brilliant. Unfortunately, he is like a lot of general officers and politicians. They start to believe their own press, and they think there's something more than they are. So, yeah, not a big fan of Bill O'Reilly. He's still great friends with Sean Hannity, and Sean Hannity's a real gas bag, a preening gas bag. So, yeah. Anyway, what else? Any other questions here? Yeah, so that's my thoughts on Bill O'Reilly. I mean, he was great once. He's not really great anymore. Tucker Carlson is still pretty brilliant at this stage. Tucker Carlson, I've been following Tucker Carlson for a long time, folks. Back when Tucker Carlson was wearing bow ties on CNN as the token conservative, I had a hard time taking him seriously. But, at Fox, he found his way, and now he's on his own again. And it was a big mistake by Fox to get rid of him. It was also a big mistake by Fox to get rid of Bill O'Reilly. It was a big mistake. Yeah, Dan Bongino is another asshat that's full of himself. He thinks everything, the world revolves around Dan Bongino. He thinks he knows everything. He's never wrong. He's a smart guy, but he did everything just long enough so he could fill his resume and say, oh, I was a Secret Service agent. Oh, I was a New York Police officer. Oh, I was a veteran. Oh, I was this. Oh, I was that. He never stuck with anything his entire life, Dan Bongino, except being on television. I don't dislike Dan Bongino. I'll listen to him. He has some good points, but... No, if he hates O'Reilly, I don't have a problem with that. That's then that's another reason to like Bill O'Reilly, I suppose. Yeah, but Dan Bongino, with his Rumble, that's all about making him rich and famous. Rich mostly, he's already famous. Dan Bongino owns Rumble. I call him Greedy Gino, because Rumble has lied to its content creators ever since its inception. We're still waiting for it to deliver what they promised several years ago. So anyway, but yeah, so. Amber Rose was pretty good. I think she was one of the highlights. Let me look back and see who else I thought was pretty good. The lady from Nicaragua was pretty good too. What's her name? Where'd that go? What are they doing? They took away my list of speakers. They took away my speakers. Where are my speakers at? You bastards. They took the list away. That's just messed up. They updated the page and took the list of speakers away. I was relying on that. Yeah, it's gone now. Damn it. Anyway, yeah, so Trump... walking around with a rather large bandage over his right ear. Man, oh man, that thing is something else. The Trumpster shows up at the convention and people screaming, "We want Trump, we want Trump." But he didn't go up and speak. So that was interesting. Anyway, Amber Rose, she tattooed her kids' stuff on her forehead. Really strange, really strange. Anyway, but she gave a good presentation. It was really impressive, I thought. So... Anyway, the Olympics are coming, folks, in case you didn't know that. The Olympics will be around very soon. Steve Woodrow, what a moron. David Sachs was, I think, a good speaker, but people weren't really listening that much. He had some good things to say. Sachs, a South African-born American from Tennessee, an entrepreneur, a wealthy man. Yep, Sachs, interesting guy. So Republican Convention, day 1 is in the books, and that's going to wrap it up. Oh, here we go. I found my speakers list. So the ones that I thought were impressive, I didn't see all of them. I thought that Kristi Noem was pretty good. Byron Donalds was good. Marsha Blackburn was okay. Sean O'Brien was very annoying. Very annoying. So he chose to use the platform to attack business, and that's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Only Democrats can attack business like that and get away with it. So Amber was the best, says Dave. Yeah, Dan Bongino hates her. I got the yeah, she was pretty good. All right, so let me just wrap something up here real quick. Trump picks J.D. Vance, once fierce critic turned loyal ally as his running mate. Yeah, and he'll regret that. He will regret that. I hope he's not another person who betrays Trump. Let's hope not. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to hit the rack. Get up tomorrow. We got another day tomorrow. So appreciate it. Y'all take care. It was pretty awesome, Dave. I thought so too. And back to Courtney's question, I'll consider covering the Democratic convention if I'm able to. In the past, I would want it to, but the Democrats just proven to be too off the deep end. So we'll have to see. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow unless something breaks tonight. All right, have a good one. Should we go with my mind's going blank now? Hey, Garrett. All right, that's it. Cheers. I'm going to take a break. Maybe get some ice cream. I'm kind of hungry. Good night, everybody.